track. Today, we are celebrating 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. And that is our focus on issues today. 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. And I have two people who I know are well baked in Nigeria's history to talk about democracy, 25 years of democracy. I'm glad to welcome a former police commissioner and a barrister of justice, Dr. Olayinka Abimbola Balogun. Thank you very much. And also here with us is another lover of democracy and convener of the Democracy and Continuity of Good Governance group. That is Sheikh Abdul Malik Bassi.
It's a pleasure to have me.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Now, looking back, let me begin with Dr. Balogun. Looking back, 25 years. In fact, most people see it as something that is novel, that Nigeria is experiencing or enjoying 25 years of democracy. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. I want to align myself with those people who probably believe that this is news. This is good news. Good beginning. Because if you look at the problem of this country, the upheavals that had assaulted democracy since our independence in 1960, and all the problems that we went through, if we are able to maintain that democracy for 25 years unbroken, then we should praise ourselves. And we should also realize that those people who think it is a big deal had reason to think so.
Now, Dr. Abdul Malik Bassi, 25 years looking back, what are your thoughts?
Yes.
Immediate thoughts.
We have come a long way. And to the glory to God, we are celebrating the 25th year of unbroken democracy. And I would love to give it to God, because it's not been easy, but we give God the glory. We are here.
Now, the antecedents of democracy, of course, today is June 12th.
Yes.
And we are celebrating the day, because this is what has led to democracy. The
June 12th
abrogation of June 12th
election
by the then president Babangida led to all this. You want to cast your mind back to that period, June 12th?
Yes, incidentally, I could say I was in the midst of it. As a senior police officer at that time, serving in Lagos, serving at the pivotal point of police operation. That's the first year the Alagos did. We saw everything. If you are in this country before June 12, during June 12 and after June 12, and if you are in a position, like I said, as myself, as a security officer, one will know that a lot of things actually happened. We were there, in the sun, in the rain, arranging for the election. I was involved, personally involved. We arranged the elections, we went throughout the whole of the country, we prepared, and everything went well. And at the point of jubilating that we have done a good job, something terrible happened to democracy. I know this thing they call democracy is so vital to human life. It's like food, like air. If anything happens to it, then that thing will lead to chaos. Something will have been broken somewhere, and somebody's voice will not be heard by the next person. And so, for what we went through that time, one would now say that if at the end of the day, with all the problems we went through, the coups, the counter coup, the demonstration, the loss of life, loss of property, loss of hope, if at the end of the day we're able to settle down, install the same democracy, and nurture it to the extent that we have today, then one should be able to nod one's head and hope that we'll be able to keep it like this. Because democracy is the line. It has a lot of definitions, but the best definition that is so enduring is the one they say, government of the people, by the people, and
for the people.
That is total ownership of that being. Organize ourselves, supervise ourselves, and say the way we want with consensus here and there. I think we have done very well, and let us hope and pray that we're going to sustain it.
Looking back 25 years, that's 25 when not when Obasanjo became president.
Okay.
That is 25 years.
Yes.
But looking back,
June 12.
June 12.
Yes. 1993.
93.
I was a player.
Yes.
I was one of Abiola's PAs.
Okay.
We called it Hope 93. That was when we were all hoping for good governance. And that's how this name, that was where this name, was bettered. It was expected that Abiola, who won the free and fair election, would be given the grace, the power to become the president, so as to take us out of the quagmires of the military. What we went through, to those of us who are still alive, we give God the glory. It was not easy, but it was seen to be one of the freest and fairest elections, because I was one of the players. But unfortunately, we wouldn't say today this was what happened, but I think it was how God wanted it, and it was annulled. We give God the glory. Today we are celebrating democracy.
No, what are the enduring lessons of that annulment to the psyche of Nigeria?
Well, I think I will say that the lessons are the military themselves will never come to take over power again, because they have learned their lesson.
That's a prayer.
Yes, they have learned their lesson. I can say it, they will never think of. They have learned their lesson. You can see today that the people, they prefer, no matter how difficult life is, they prefer a democracy, a government by the people for the people, because the worst democracy is better than a military government.
Dr. Balogun, well, this period of democracy, people are complaining of the hike in prices, and the living conditions are tough for many Nigerians. What's your take on this with in this our drive for democracy?
Good governance.
Let us look at the age of democracy that we're talking about.
Yes.
25 years, a broken one. So we are no longer talking about the one that happened in the past.
Yes.
We are saying, since we entered this democracy the way it is today, what is the duration? What is the length? And we are saying 25 years. 25 years is not much, really, in terms of development.
Growth.
Anything, really. It's a good start. So we'll look at the age and we'll say that we are not doing badly if you compare what you have achieved with that age we are talking about. And we need to exercise a lot of patience. We must persevere to be able to reach our goal. The hardship that we are talking about did not come overnight. It's been there. It's only that maybe if in the past we have been working on these things gradually, maybe it would not have escalated to this level. But we have to give it to the current government, that since it came in, it has not come to tell us that we are telling lies. It has come to admit that there is a problem. But it has been doing something since that time. Waking up in the night to check where something is happening, and listening to what people are saying. And that's the democracy we are talking about. Not having the fear of not being able to approach a governor. You can't approach a military governor, you can't approach a warrant somebody. But we are saying we put this man there to listen to us. And that's the essence of democracy. I just want to let people know that if you cast your mind back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, you will see that there has been some gradient in this issue of hardship, in this issue of economic problem. We used to have austerity measure. We used to have tightening of debt, meaning that these things have been in existence. But maybe the tackling was not enough. So we want to appeal to our people that we should give room, we should give chance, we should give benefit of the doubt to the current government, so that some of those things that have been missing can be filled in. Take Abuja for example. Take Lagos for example. I live in Lagos. I shuttle between Lagos and Abuja. I am a frequent user of Third Mainland Bridge. I want to use that as an example. In those days, 3, 4, 5 years back, anytime I travel out of Lagos, as soon as we enter Lagos and we enter Third Mainland Bridge, I will start driving with my driver. Can't you see that pothole? Can't you see? But today, the place is smooth now. You can hold a glass of water and the water will not fall. Then look at Abuja too. Things are changing. The network, the road. So I'm saying that democracy also needs nurturing. It also needs perseverance. It also needs patience. We also need to understand our leaders and guide them where there is a problem. But we must persevere. And we must not escalate things. We must not exaggerate. We must not get out of point. We must believe that there is hardship, but that it can be sorted out gradually if we persevere.
Okay, and what are the things that you think that Nigerians should do now?
Yeah.
That we are in 25 years of democracy, and things are going this way.
Well, I want to say that the government of the day is trying its best, and it has to do more, especially in the area of production. We have to be productive.
Is the government to produce?
For instance, why we are into this hardship is because subsidy has been removed. We must be honest. The government, for the first time, for about 50 years, we have been subsidized in the area of petroleum energy, which of course it was not bad. But when this government came into power, they removed subsidy. You know what that means? The prices of goods and services went up. Again, if our refineries were productive, we wouldn't have this problem. Take, for instance, when Dangote introduced his product into the market, the price of the diesel came down. So I would suggest and I will advise the government to do more in the area of, we have crude oil. What is wrong with us not producing, not refining it? It's like you have a farm where you harvest yam and you don't have mortar to pound it. You take it to somebody, your neighbor's house. I mean, let this government look into how we begin to produce, the government produce or give license to the 6 geopolitical zones to people who are capable to build refinery.
Okay. Now we have a local refinery. That's Dangote refinery. They say they have started producing diesel and shortly petrol. But even the how about the Nigerian refineries? We said we're supposed to have a refinery in Kaduna, one in Port Harcourt, one in Warri, and yet they are not meeting. What are the problems? What can be done to engender local refining of petroleum products?
Earlier, I said we had problems. Some of the problems are still lingering. But I also said that maybe the tackling of those problems were not adequate in the past. We are talking of refineries. For example, recently, emphasis has been laid on refinery. We must repair our refinery. And as it is now, one or two are being resuscitated. But we have up to 6. It will have been a good news if, for example, the past government had also revived maybe 2. If they revived 2, look at the ports. Why must everything go to Lagos? We have ports in Calabar, we have in Owerri, we have Port Harcourt. If those ports have been revived along the line, and some of the goods and some of the vessels go there, if the man has to come all the way from Onitsha to come and clear his goods in Lagos, by the time the things return to Onitsha, we know the price will have gone up. So what we are saying is that those refineries that the government is trying to bring up, they should increase the tempo, give license. There are so many Dangotes in the country, there are so many companies, give them licensing, give them tax rebate, and let these refineries come up. I will not fail to mention my area. That is security, for example.
That's it.
I'm an old policeman and lawyer. And the biggest problem that we are facing now
Security.
in the country is this issue of insecurity. And we are talking about farming, we are talking about food production. You cannot go to the farm if there is no safety there. It is not secure. So we are saying that I'm advocating that there should be this forest guard that we had before the white man left. We had forest guards who took care of forests, farms, just like the policemen in the town. This forest guard should be revived. There are able-bodied men that can be brought in. Then the police should
There's a group now that a group like NLCDC.
Yeah, but you see, there's a duplication there. NSDC, for example, is also doing what the police is doing. The policeman, it was the police that had been dismantled to this level. You have the police, from there the civil defense came out, from there the EFCC came out, and so on. That will be a story for another day. But what I'm saying is that the forest guard should be openly revived, not to take somebody, a group from somewhere. You can recreate them, you train them because they have special training. We had them during the colonial days.
Yes.
Let us revive them so that they will be on the farm. Just like the way the policeman is in town,
yes,
they should be in the farm. When the farmer had closed for the day, they will still be there. And so thieves or marauders will not be able to go there.
Or those who scare farmers from farming,
they will not be there because those people will be there to scare them off. And when these people, when there is security on ground already, it's like a house where you have 5-6 policemen on guard. It will be difficult for 2-3 villagers strolling and cause havoc there. But if the place is bare and they move in, and then you bring in policemen later, they will not be able to do much. So we need to have these people on ground. The policeman should be adequately equipped. The police force should be adequately equipped in the areas of strength, in the areas of equipment, in the areas of training, so that they can overwhelm insecurity. Once they are superior in capacity, in equipment, in training, they'll be able to overcome all these people. But if the strength is poor, as it is now, the strength is a bit lower than what we expected, than what we, the experts in the area, than what we are advocating. There should be more policemen, there should be better trained, there should be equipment for them. And we are saying that these people that will do this job are available. There are a lot of idle hands in town.
Do we need to employ more policemen, or to create this
Community policing.
We need to. No, when you talk of strength has to do with recruitment. If you have 10 personnel on a particular assignment and you want to increase it, you recruit more people, then you train them. You give them initial training, then they get trained when they come on the job. Like most of us, we got trained. Some of us came in as university graduates, as college graduates. You come in, you take fresh training. Then when you enter into the system, you get more training on the field. And as we are going on, because these things get depleted, police strength get depleted along the line. Some people die, some people retire, some people resign, some people go to other greener pastures. Those people must be replaced because the vacuum has to be filled. And as a fellow of the National Institute of Security Studies, I am proud to say that there is nothing that's more important than security. Nothing.
That's true.
It's only when you secure a place that you can invite somebody to the place. If a market is not secure, nobody will go there. If a farm is not, of course, like I watch, like we are seeing now, our farms are not secure, and that is why our farmers are not good. And if farmers do not go to the farm in a whole year, they are in hunger. And you see, and that hunger cannot be blamed on the government, cannot be blamed on individuals, but will be blamed on the collective responsibility of providing security for that place. If it is government that should provide that security, then the government should go ahead and say, how many policemen do you have in Ibadan? We have 10. How many do you actually need? 25. Bring in more, 15 more, and train them with our money, with the society money. Train them so that they can be useful to society. If you don't secure a place, no amount of palliatives can solve the problem. For farmers to go back to the farm, the place must be secure. And the security has to come from security agency, the police, the forest guard, the NCC or the other group. But there must be people responsible, properly trained, properly armed, and properly prepared to stave off this menace.
I was at a forum where the National Security Advisor, Malam
Nuhu Ribadu.
Ribadu, was talking about the efforts that have been made so far in 1 year of the Bola Tinubu administration. Now, what else do you think can be done to ensure security of lives and property? Because that's number one. In a democracy, security is number one.
Yeah, in a democracy, it's a police state. It is a police state. We should have to recruit more policemen. In a democracy, we don't need the army. They are supposed to be far inside the barracks. It is because the government, let's be very honest, is not taking our security serious. Look at it from the days of Obasanjo. What happened? How many people have been recruited? Ask Obasanjo, who was the president at the time. His first 4 years, how many policemen were recruited? They were complaining no money. So that is the problem. This problem inherent is not caused by us. It is the government. It's the responsibility of the government, because democracy is a police state. It's not the military. It's not a soldier state. It's for the police. If we have been recruiting, for instance, 40,000 policemen every year, in the 8 years of Obasanjo, we wouldn't have these problems today. Please, go to the books and find out. But instead, it has been decreasing.
25 years ago, you're talking about 25 years ago.
Yes.
We're talking about, but now.
Yes, let the government in power today do something about police recruitment. Let more policemen be. I just saw in the newspaper, they said 10,000 policemen have been recruited. What can 10,000 do? 20,000. With how many million? Million. So what is the ratio? So that is our problem. That is why we have ungoverned space. We cannot have 2 policemen to 3 million, 10 million people, and you expect any good out of it. So we need to recruit police. We need to put more money in the policing system.
Now, what if we leave food security, food security? Let's go into the area of sports. Nigeria has been experiencing a very bad
Downtrend.
in football. For instance, we were defeated by Benin Republic of
Of all the country.
of all countries recently in Abidjan.
Yes.
So, what do you think is the problem? What should be done to keep us up?
It's actually a very sad situation that we could be defeated, that Nigeria could be defeated by
Benin.
the Republic. But you see, it is not how big, it is how efficient.
That's true.
If you talk of population, we have a lot of people. But in picking people that will go and play football, are we sincere in the selection? Do we look at faces? Do we look at where they come from before we pick them? And you see, there's something the administration called round peg and round hole. If you don't pick a round peg and put it in a round hole, there will be problem in that area. You must finance it. Any endeavor must be properly financed. Training. If a player is seeing a particular type of football field for the first time in his life, he's seeing the kind of floodlight for the first time in his training life, he's going to feel, he will feel inadequate. If this training had been adequate from day one, in good equipment, at times they want to bring in these referees and instructors, and you start hearing people saying you cannot pay, you can't pay for that kind of thing, it's too costly, you cannot. If you do not put in money in any endeavor, properly channeled, properly arranged, not much can be. So I think what we need is that resolve. The man that's going to be sportsman, sport minister, must be a sportsman. He cannot be ordinary politician. He cannot be ordinary man on the street. Some of us, I remember we were discussing this issue of football, and a friend said, if a match is going on, that he could sleep. The other friend said, that means you didn't play football when you were young. If you play football in primary school, you play in primary school, in the university or so, your passion for the game will be different from somebody who never had time for it. And so it is that person that had that passion that should be put there. That person that will be ready to sleep with. I was listening to a program on late Abiola. He was saying something about football. Maybe some of us watched it. He was telling us how he followed Abiola babes from one country to the other in the night, in the day. At times they had to quickly hire a vehicle. At times they quickly. No, they didn't sleep for days. He was with them physically. That kind of person will be different if he's handling a football match than somebody who is just doing it, maybe for the big money that's there. We need somebody who's passionate about this exercise to handle it. A footballer, a popular athlete, somebody who has interest in sports should be put there. Once you put that right person there, and then you put the correct support, we'll do better.
Thank you very much, Dr. Olayinka Abimbola Balogun. We'll take a break now on issues. I'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back to Issues on ARCN TV, Abuja. This is Ayinde Shuaga, and we're looking at 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. In the studio with me, Dr. Olayinka Abimbola Balogun, former police commissioner and a barrister at law, and Sheikh Dr. Abdulmalik Bassi of the Democracy and Continuity of Good Governance Group.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for being in the studio with us. Now, let me begin again with Dr. Balogun. Go back to the issue of security. People have been clamoring for state police. What do you think should be done? Should the National Assembly approve for state police and bring this into our constitution so that states can have their police forces against the present norm?
Thank you. I want to emphasize this issue of democracy and security. Without security, democracy will not stand. And democracy has to do with all area of choice. This is what we want. This is what you want. And so by the time you like they say, talk your own, I talk my own, we'll get at a consensus. Without policing, there will be nothing, there will be no security. Security, that's why you have policeman. That the man there is the community, the police there is the policeman. So the two of them must go together. State police have been on the front burner for a long time. But I must also say that state police is not actually completely new. The colonial master left us with regional police. The police, there will be an insider, a policeman that is entrenched with and in the society. A policeman that will not need an interpreter to talk to a member of the public, that will have known the nuances, the body languages, the area, and that's the essence of state police. That is the police organization that will grow with the community, that will grow in the state, that will know where and what to do and where and what to say. That's the essence of state police. It will bring security to the grassroots, to the very grassroots. It will live among the people, he will understand that there are nuances, and it's very easy for him or her to solve their problems. That will not remove federal police. Where we borrowed modern policing from, US, UK, wherever, they have state police, they have local government police, they have park police, they have university police, they also have federal police, the FBI. I was trained in the US. So I know these things. They are there. High level cases, big time fraud cases, political murders, and so on. Serious kidnapping are handled by the FBI, by the federal police. The local issues, somebody didn't allow me to reach my farm, somebody took my car, somebody is this and that, should be handled by the local police for immediate action, for quick action, rather than having to call. You can't call a fire brigade from Abuja to go and quell fire problem in Bida. Everything will have the fire will be great. That's the essence of state police. That will take the police very near to people. That will see everywhere. Park, school, farm. This farmers had problem can easily solved by state police. The police that will be on ground already before the farmers will, or before the herders will come. The police that will easily call the farmer and the herdsman together. I was a commissioner of police in some of these states. I was in Ekiti state and we had that problem there. I was in Edo and we were able to. But it would have been much better if it is a state managed police. Because there will be more people. There isn't much that the federal government can do. The state police can complement. A governor can decide to employ 50,000 able-bodied men to police the state. Whatever he is policing will yield results. If the markets are safe, if the roads are safe, if the farms are safe, if the companies are safe, if the universities are safe, that community will grow. And so that is the essence of state police. Taking policing, taking security down to the grassroots, very close to the people, like oxygen.
Now, if we look at the spate of kidnappings, of cattle rustling, and kidnapping and asking for
Ransom.
particularly in the north, Katsina and Zamfara, etc. What are your thoughts about the police and the security, and why we still have this now?
Yes.
Why has the spate increased?
Yes, it
and
is.
What can be done to bring it down?
One, let me start from why the spate is increased. You see, they have some locals who are collaborating with these people. For instance, that Zamfara, for instance, that's somebody who is the village head called the people and say, yes, come. So you can see why it is the state police, community police, is necessary, because they will know who is working with who. If you send me, I am from Akwa Ibom, if I'm a policeman, you send me to be the commissioner of police in Zamfara, what do you expect me to do? You need somebody from that place. The only way, because this kidnapping is an organized crime, and there must be somebody who is, I don't want to quote what I read from the newspapers, there must be somebody who is working hand in hand with the kidnappers in that community. So if we have community policing, it will be easier to nip it at the, so we need to develop our community. It doesn't change anything from, the federal police. We need to encourage, even if it is the local vigilantes, we could have them to work with the police in our states. It will reduce the, because, for instance, in that Katsina, they said somebody called the people and said the man is around. That was a commissioner who was killed when the immediate past governor that left the office. So somebody called that the man is in the house. They went and They killed him. So that's the community policing is very, very, very necessary. I grew up in my community, seeing the community policing in my place, Akwa Ibom, when the white man came in. Don't forget, the white man came in from my place. So we saw that if they met, when they came, they saw community policing on ground. You know, it helps to meet every crime, because before you sit down and begin to plan, somebody who comes from that place, who is monitoring you, you may not know. But if we don't bring in this community policing into our system, it will be very difficult to bust these criminals.
Now, if we outside security, the next thing is about food production. Apparently, food production has died because this insecurity has forced many to be out of the
farm.
farms. What can be done currently by the government to help boost
Food security
and get the food back to the farms to till the land?
Once again, security. Security and security. No farm will thrive. No enterprise will thrive if there is no safety there. Before the Boko Haram incident scared away our farmers, our fathers and mothers from various farms, the places were relatively peaceful. Like I said earlier, the white man left they call them Lori, forest guards, because it was realized that food, before a man will do anything, he must have strength. A vehicle without fuel will not be able to do anything. It's the same thing with the strength that you want to give to a man. And when you talk about food, you are not really talking about just the ordinary food. You also have medication involved. You also have forestry there. You also have industry there, because most of these industries are fed from the farm. But not most, all. There is scarcely any human production unit where agriculture is not involved. The leaves, the stems, the roots are used. And these things must be planted and nurtured to maturity. Those that will do it, even if you want to use robots to do it, the robots too must be able to work in an atmosphere that is
peaceful.
conducive. If electricity is not properly functioning, that's insecurity. If the water needed by industry, factories are not there, it is insecurity. And so, to be able to return farmers to the farm, the farms must be secure. And in securing the place, personnel and paraphernalia of office must be brought in. 25 years ago, when we started this new trend of democracy, how many policemen do we have in Nigeria? How many men do we have in the forest guard? How many men do we have at the various parks? How many patrol vehicles do we have? How many policemen? We have to check all those things. If 25 years ago we had X number of policemen, and 25 years later we cannot boast of X11, XL, XLL, then we are not making any progress. Because the population is growing.
Yes.
And this population that is growing grows with crime. Crime is part and parcel of the society. Even the biblical setting, crimes are committed there. So man must envisage crime, must envisage impediment, and then plan for it. We have all the resources. All we need to do is to make use of those resources. We have to increase the number of guards is even in your private house, if you have an 8-bedroom house and you have 3 gates, you cannot employ just one man. You must at least man the 3 gates, and that is 3 already. If you are a wise person, you make it 4 or 5 in case of problems of absenteeism or something. But if you do not man those 3 gates, you cannot effectively complain of intruders. Nigeria must take security as seriously as possible. My brother was saying something about this recruitment thing. Incidentally, I was an insider. I was principal staff officer to 4 inspectors general of police in this country, with due respect. And so I was inside. I knew all the running. A president once promised us 40,000 police every year for 4 years, for his first 4 years. Everybody was happy. And we went in. The project crashed. The government did not announce it. 4 times 4, that is 16, which means we will have had 160,000 policemen
Fresh.
for 4 years. Other 4 years, 160,000 policemen. Maybe another president come and say, let's carry on. Everybody will have been sleeping with everything closed. You close your eyes, you close your nose, you close everything and you sleep. Because besides security, no other thing.
Nothing can work.
Quote me anywhere. I'm not, with due respect, I'm a fellow of the National Security Studies. But that's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying because it is the truth that security is paramount.
Yes.
None of us will be able to leave this place if somebody called us to say there's riot on the main road, there's riot at the gate. You will not go out. You will wait until that thing is abated.
Square.
And so that makes it very, very important. Let us work on it. Let us, we have to, there's this political statement to declare a particular place a state of emergency. It is security that should be declared state of emergency in Nigeria. Bring in more policemen. Bring in more policemen. That is seeking the kingdom of God. Every other thing shall be added.
Thank you, Dr. Olayinka Abibola Balogun, a barrister. I want you, Sheikh Abdulmalik Bassi, I want you to cast your mind back in the past 25 years in the area of education. How have we fared in educational development in Nigeria?
Yeah, excellent. Well, I will say it because in my days, I paid Udoji. In 1976, I was recruited because then I've already had my HND or my advanced GCE. So I was recruited. How do I mean? I had my education in this same country, free. The government subsidized. If you go to the library, there is no book, you buy it in the university. What happened? At the end of your program, you take the book there, they will pay you. That was what happened. We had an exchange program. But you see, 25 years ago, there have been nothing like that. On a very serious note, just last week, I went to the Federal Government Scholarship Board somewhere in Wuse. I was asked, who sent you? Where do you come from? So you must belong before you look for scholarship. You must belong. So they said, there's nothing we can do unless somebody sent you, even to give information. So they are not faring well at all. It is not a good development.
What's your take on
My brother has mentioned
25 years of educational development in the last 25 years?
My brother there has mentioned the mental insecurity that is harassing education, the intellectual insecurity. But as a security, as a proper security man, I still go back into security. How many schools today are safe? How many schools today are free from murder,
Intruders.
from kidnapping? If you if you can walk into a school and pick 4, 5, 6 students and take them away and tell the mother to come and negotiate, security in that area has collapsed, and education in that area
has collapsed.
So government must go back to the table and look at this area. Get all these people this area fairly secure, then we can make progress. Now, the other area is for the government to decide to put money, some big money, into this area. Like training. Some teachers have not gone on any training for years. They don't know the current trend. And this priority must also come into the gradings. For example, more money should go into elementary education. Elementary, secondary, and university. We must make that foundation unassailable. Those who went to primary school should be able to know as much before they get to secondary school. If you look at if you listen to some program, you will see. Sorry, I mentioned it. A radio anchorman was doing it in radio thing, and he was asking a girl to phone in and talk. The girl introduced herself as Juliet, and the anchorman said, "Oh, what about Romeo?" The girl switched off. He had never heard of Romeo.
Yes, okay. To round off now, what are your thoughts, your final thoughts on 25 years of democracy in Nigeria?
Well, I will give it to the present government. Mr. President, I congratulate him. He is a man of his words. When he said it is his turn, he was loaded, and he is helping better than what he met on ground. So in the area of security, I think Abuja we can sleep in Abuja today and then close our two eyes. Even if we will not cover blankets, but we can close our two eyes because the tempo is. So I will give it to the president, but I will say he should do more.
Okay, thank you. Your final thoughts?
Let us secure this country more than it is now. Let the government bring in more finance into this area. Honestly, the current government
Okay.
is not doing that because he has seen the problem and is tackling them. That's all that we need. Tackling them every day, every second, bringing in new ideas and putting round pegs in round holes, and then listen to what people are saying and correcting them.
Thank you very much. I want to especially appreciate Dr. Olayinka Abimbola Balogun, a former police commissioner and a barrister who has given his views on 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. Also, I thank Sheikh Abdulmalik Bassi, the leader of democracy and continuity of good governance. Thank you all for watching, and that's been our review of 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. You've been watching ARCN television, and we continue bringing you more exciting and interesting discussion programs. Thank you very much. Bye.